Recording this. All right. I think we are recording. All right. Tash, thank you for finally coming on to my podcast after how long has this taken? Like 6 months?
A while, but you've been consistent, but it's good. I've been eager to jump on.
No. I've definitely been persistent. Definitely had to get you on. Thank you for being my first Zoom video, I guess, guest. This is something I've been wanting to start doing. So I'm glad we can get this rolling. So
Yeah, cool.
how have you been? How have you been during this quarantine? How have you been managing with training and everything and life?
Geez, you know what, Kadeem? I feel bad saying this because obviously a lot of people aren't so bad off as they were a lot worse off than what I have been. But this quarantine was the first time in my life that it's like you just hit that pause button and everything just slowed down because you know, obviously you know me, but I don't know how much you know how crazy my life is. But being a mum with two kids, running a business, then trying to fit in the level of training that we do, plus still keeping your partner happy, having enough time at home, family life, and then still putting hot food on the tables and stuff like that. I just felt like my adrenaline was always like this, and just sleep was overrated. And yeah, it was really nice to just slow down a little bit.
Mm.
And I've made some big changes ever since with everything starting to open up again. Like I've definitely pulled back a lot on my hours that I'm doing at work. I'm making more time for to be at home, and even my training now. Like I'm trying to train more during the day instead of the evening, so I am home more. And I think it just makes you look at life a little bit differently and appreciate things a little bit differently.
Mm.
And yeah, but obviously there's a lot of people in the world that are still suffering from this, and my heart goes out to them. And because you know hasn't been that sort of story for a lot of people, and it's yeah, I've still been following it, a lot of it overseas, and it's and we've got a lot of ninja friends that are in America that you know, so it's heartbreaking. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so bizarre. When I was over in the US, it was just on the brink of everything actually like happening. But while I was there, it was like business as usual. It was like, oh no, that's still an overseas problem. Even though it hit the US, but literally as I was leaving, that's when it was like, okay, now it's a problem everywhere.
Yeah.
So it was just crazy, just being over there and just seeing this whole transition from just normal to just madness.
Oh, nothing like this has ever happened ever in our
No,
lifetime, and
no.
it's the way we've all been living lately. It's just not normal, and yeah, the biggest thing for me, I've just been trying to keep it really normal for my kids because you know I think in the back of their minds they don't really quite understand what's going on, so it can be quite scary for them, and to just you know trying to yeah, as I said, try and keep it as normal as I can for them, and yeah, and just stay safe.
Yeah, no, it's yeah. I mean, look, I can't complain either. I must say, life's been pretty cruisy. Just trying to do what I can, living off government payments. So I really can't complain. So, but yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. Like it's we've got our world, and then there's the whole nother world outside, and yeah, hopefully things will start to settle. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But so Tash, tell me about your early years, because I know you're very fit, you're very active. You're probably one of the strongest female ninjas that I know.
That's debatable.
That's oh hey, I don't know. Your videos don't lie, but but tell me about sort of your early years in training and have you always been into fitness and sports? What were you like as a kid?
Yeah, all right. I was that kid who I got diagnosed with ADD when I was 6 because I just had this like crazy ball of energy and it's just never stopped. My mum never put me on the ADD drugs, but I've just like since a kid I've just had so much energy for everything. I think I played probably about 5 different sports a week as a kid. Mum called it her mum's taxi service. I just wanted to just try everything. And nothing has changed. I'm 33 now, and literally nothing has changed. My poor partner, because we've got the kids, and he says you're not a normal mum because I'm still trying to learn new skills and do as much as I can. But yeah, from a young age, there's not many sports. It'd be too much to probably name what I have done. There's not many sports that I haven't done. Yeah, and I was always so, I don't know what it was, but no one really had to encourage me to do stuff. Like I would always go out and do my own little things, have my own little goals of my own. Even when I was in primary school, I remember I wanted to do really well in the running and whatever. So I'd ask mum, she'd let me run around laps or after school around the block. And I would do that until she'd say, all right, when the street lights come on, you have to come home. And I would just be running laps around wanting to do well. And which I did do well from, I think it was like from year 4 right up into year 12. I won every single event in athletics and I represented and went to the state level. It was like 100, 200, 400, 800,
Wow.
1500, cross country, long jump and high jump. Besides the cross country, I'd win all them on that same day. I don't know how I had the energy for it. And that, yeah, went on for like every year up into college.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That is insane. Were you only ever into individual sports in school, or did you?
No, so I did team sports. My background actually is football, so I played touch rugby from about year 5, I think I was in when I started that, and played state national level for that. I made the Australian side when I was 18 as a shadow player.
Wow.
Yeah, I just had a really good football coach over in Canberra. He's actually gone on to be the Australian coach now. And but yeah, so, and then I was into a lot of running as well. So they were kind of my main sports growing up. I did do, I don't think many people know this, but I actually was a baton twirler throughout high school. Do you know what baton twirling is? The Americans.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
It's like this metal rod, but it's got weights in the end, and you do a dance routine, and you throw it around, and you do tricks and stuff underneath it.
Oh wow!
You wear leotards, and yeah, I did that throughout high school, which was pretty funny. I used to dance as well, actually. I danced for probably about 11 years.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So I did gymnastics when I was about 6 or 7, but I don't know why I stopped it. I only did it for about 3 years, and I wish that I went on, because maybe then I'd be at Olivia Vivian's level if I kept doing gymnastics.
I feel like that's crazy. I feel like all of us in the ninja are like, oh man, if only we just started gymnastics early. If only it's just.
I know. And then trying to learn it now.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, but ninja, it's probably the most, I say this to everyone, it's definitely the most funnest sport that I've done so far. And like, I feel like there's never a stop where you could just like, you've gotten to your peak. Like you're forever learning, there's always new challenges. And then when you master something, you can make that even harder, and it's just like, it's just constantly changing. And that's what I've loved about the sport so much. I pretty much am not really playing much touch anymore. I've changed all my training now to just be strong at ninja. Like I'm bouldering 2 to 3 times a week, ninjaing, and then doing all my other training, my weights training and stuff around that. But
I don't know how you fit it all in.
I know, it's crazy. But I've been
madness.
lifting weights since I was about 16. I joined the gym when the gyms were, it was quite old school when I was going to the gym. They didn't really have personal trainers and stuff there, but I would get them, they have people that worked on the gym floor, and they'd write me up a program, and I would stick to that program to a T. And I was like, I want to be strong at this, strong at that, and I would just follow it. And I was that little 16-year-old that would, I got my license early. I got my worker's license, but I was a bit cheeky and would still drive to the gym and yeah, be there most nights.
What so why do you reckon you'd know why you were so driven at such a young age? I know that could be a hard question to answer, but do you have any idea as to why you were able to focus and had that desire? Where do you think it came
No,
from?
I've just always had just a passion to I've just wanted to do well. Um, yeah, I went through, I had some adversity that I went through throughout college, but even before that, like I've always had that fire in my belly. And
Mm,
I feel like that's something that you got to want yourself. Like no one can teach you that, or no one can give that to you. Like if you really want to do well at something, you've got to have that fire, and you've got to, be willing to learn from your mistakes, be willing to have setbacks, and be willing to fail in
mm,
order to just like keep pushing and not give up and keep succeeding. And like I've always been that crazy person to want to do that.
mm.
I even say that to my clients now. I'm like, I ask them if they're really ready to make a change. Because if people aren't ready, like I can set them up, with the best program, they can come and do all my sessions. But then if they don't commit on their own time and they're not really ready inside to make a difference, it won't happen.
Mm.
And you just got to really be hungry and really want something in order to, get there. And I don't know why, but I've just had that fire my whole life.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's hard to
yeah,
explain. You know what I mean, don't you? You just
I
got
know.
to
Is
be
it?
really determined and really hungry, and no one can give that to you. You got to want that yourself.
Mm, mm. I think when I look back on my own life, I think I'm more or less the same. Or probably more hungry now and in the last, probably since more I was 18 than maybe when I was young before that. But I think really it comes to, I think, adversity. I think any adversity you might go through, um, I think it definitely will help shape that hunger. Maybe it might just be intrinsic from a young age. I'm not too sure, but I know definitely, my life situation definitely made me hungry. There was like a moment or a road, and it was either go this way or go that way,
Yeah.
and it's just you just make the choice. So
Yeah.
tell me about the adversity that you went through. We briefly spoke about it outside of here, but
Yeah.
just
So
for listeners.
I don't like to play the poor me card because I don't want people to feel sorry for me, but I do like sharing this story because, I hope that it can inspire people. But
Mm,
from the age of 16, I actually lost my dad, and
mm,
him and I were really close, and he would always be the one that would be on that sideline cheering me on for every sport I did. And I think I cried like every single day for over a year, and it was quite full on. And then, literally a year and a half later, after my dad died, I got diagnosed with ovarian cancer. So I was
oh,
only 17.
that's a double.
Um,
That's harsh. That's
yeah,
terrible.
it was. Oh, it was just such a weird time in my life. Like I was in college, and then, for that to happen to my dad, and then the cancer, like it was. Yeah, it was. I can't describe to you how much it quickly just puts everything into perspective for your life. And it was crazy. I was so in, like, you can't. You talk to anyone that's going through cancer, and you kind of just get to this realization that you've got to keep living, and like you think, okay, well, am I going to feel sorry for myself and lay down and just, or am I actually just going to try my hardest to just get on with life, be as healthy as I can, and just like try and fight it as best as you can? And that was my attitude through it. And I was still positive. I would go from an intense chemo session where I was there all day, straight to the football field because I was in denial that I
Wow.
still wanted to go away for nationals. And I was at nationals, and I remember I would be running and I'd faint on the football field. And my mum, bless her, she would still let me go because she knew that I didn't want to stop and I didn't want to slow down. And she would still take me straight from the hospital to my football training. And then after the chemo, as my hair started falling out, the girls in my footy team, they ended up shaving my head because it was just getting to the point where it just clumps, it was
Oh,
coming out.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I got through it. I've now been clear for, God, how long now? 16 years, I think. No,
Wow.
yeah, I've been clear. I had it when I was 17. I'm 33 now. So,
That's crazy.
what's that? 17, 26, 10, 16 years, isn't it?
Wow.
Yeah.
Like ask me to do quick maths in my head. I can't. All I know is 2 + 2 = 4.
Yeah, but it was actually my dad's anniversary of his death 2 days ago, and it still doesn't get any easier. Like I had a little tear in my eye. My dad used to always take me to the markets and the fresh food markets, and it was so weird because I didn't even it was the day before his death. Wasn't even thinking about his death, and I was like, I don't know what it was in me, but I just wanted to go to the food markets. It was a Saturday morning. I said, come on, kids, let's go. And we just got ready and went out the door. And then I started telling the kids how my dad always used to take me to the markets. And then, no kidding, above me is massive rainbow shone above me.
Wow.
And then I pulled over. It was that big. I've never seen a rainbow like it. It was like so thick and like a full one. And then straight away on the radio, this song that my dad always used to sing to me, that Bad to the Bone song,
Yeah.
that came on the radio. And I just like instantly had these tears well up, and I was just like, oh, love you too, Papa. I just knew he was like, telling me it's all good and he loves me. And it was really nice. But,
yeah, it's crazy how the universe can work sometimes.
I know.
Wow.
But in saying that, Kadeen, you know what? I'm very grateful that I'm still here. I've got two healthy kids. I actually, after the cancer, I got told that I couldn't have kids. I found out in my early 20s that because when I had the cancer, they removed one of my ovaries and my fallopian tube.
Wow.
And then on the other side, that ovary, the chemo actually killed a lot of my eggs that I had. They hit me with some really intense chemo. And so then when I was in my early 20s, they told me that I was actually premenopausal, and they said that it was highly unlikely that I wouldn't be able to have kids, and they said I'd probably hit menopause within 1 to 2 years at the most. And that was, I think, how old was I? I was like 23 when they told me that.
Wow.
And so my partner and I at the time, we thought, you know what? Let's, you haven't hit menopause yet. Yeah, let's have a go. Let's see what happens. They told me it wouldn't happen. They said I'd have to do IVF with the eggs that I had left because I had very little eggs left. And I fell pregnant naturally twice. And I've got two beautiful boys that are healthy, beat all the odds. And they're my little miracle boys. And so, yes, it just goes to show sometimes when the doctor says something, you got to listen to your gut and just, and do what you think's right and then see what happens.
Oh, no, 100%. Wow, that's crazy. So, sporting wise, once you beat cancer, what happened then? What were you then pursuing? Did you shift your focus? Is that when you started, personal training? Like what happened? I guess what changed for you in perspective and what you wanted to do?
Post cancer, what changed?
Yeah.
Well, because I was in college, I actually, and Mum was widowed. All I wanted to do after my cancer treatment was just go to work. I don't know how I passed college because I was only there for half a year, and they somehow passed me on. I don't know how, but I ended up getting Sportsman of the Year still as well in year 11. For the sports that I did for the time I was there before I was in my treatment, which is pretty funny. But all I wanted to do post-treatment was just to start working and help my mum out. And I've always been, I think my dad was a really hard worker, and I ended up getting a job in a bar and doing hospitality for a little bit, and then started working and managing a few restaurants. And then by the age of 21, I was part owners in a restaurant.
Okay, wow.
And had that for a few years. And then it just got to the point where I felt like, yes, it was good that I'd set this restaurant up, but, it wasn't really, I didn't feel fulfilled, and it wasn't what I really wanted to do. And then I ended up selling my share in the restaurant, and I went back to study, and then became a personal trainer. It was the best decision that I made, I think, because it's like I'm so passionate about health and fitness, and I've loved how I've been able to help people, and not just physically but mentally as well. And I always try to get into my clients' heads and, you know, help them grow as a person and teach them what I've learned, you know, about your self-development and stuff, because there is so much more to training than just training, you know. And there's just showing them, you know, how just to be passionate about things, and how, like, if you want things, and if you want to do good at things, you know, and just teaching them how to, just getting them in that right mindset is been huge for me. But yeah, I've been a personal trainer now for 10 years, and I love it still. And I'm glad that I made that choice to do that. So
yeah. Wow. So many things I didn't even know about you. Wow. It's I don't know about. It's crazy.
Everyone always tells me I should write a book. I've got so many stories, but
hey, you should. Why not?
I'll put that on the list. There's always too much going on.
Nah, that's fair enough. So how did you find yourself in the wonderful world that is Ninja Warrior? What happened there?
Oh man, God, so how long ago was it now that I've been doing Ninja? 4 or 5 years ago, I think I started. But you know what it was? I actually started watching the Americans. I was following Jessie Graff on YouTube, and I just thought, wow, what a freaking amazing woman. This girl is just so strong, and she's up there beating the guys. And I was like, this is my kind of sport. I just love that, you know, you're put on that level plane against the guys, and you can really just test all your skills and stuff. And yeah, I just loved it. I didn't even know that it was in Australia. And then my best friend Zoe, she was like, oh, they've got a ninja academy 15 minutes away, you want to come? And it was so random, and I was like, what? Yes. there's a ninja place in Perth. And we went down for our first night. I stayed there until there was no skin on my hands. I was trying every single obstacle. And I literally signed up. I could hardly even sign the paper because my hands were just broken. But I was like, I need to join this place right now. And I've been hooked ever since my first session. And I'm actually heading off there to train today. But it's a fun sport, isn't it? You get to be a kid and you get to swing around on a big playground for a kid. That is just the coolest thing ever, I think.
Oh no, I agree. I kind of find it hard to actually do traditional training anymore. Maybe for legs, but
yeah,
it's just so boring.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I'll train legs, and I'll do my big compound lifts, like squats and deadlifts and whatnot. And I still do a lot of sprint training and just to be explosive on the legs. But all my push pull, everything, it's mostly body weight or added weight to me. I haven't been on a machine in a gym. The only time I ever go on one is when I'm doing a demo for a client. I just feel like and it's very underrated, body weight training, isn't it? There's so much more muscles involved in just moving a machine around. Like, you've got to have strong core, you've got to have all the stabilizers around whatever you're working to be strong. And I feel like you get so much more out of it.
Oh, 100%. Well, I mean, if you look at any, you know, decent gymnast, especially at the higher levels, probably more than men, I guess I'm focusing on. If you look at their development, I mean, you look at the shoulder development and their triceps and their arms, it's just phenomenal. Like, if you're going to just focus on the physique side of things, like the shape that you get from bodyweight training is
it's crazy,
insane. Yeah,
I'm actually the heaviest that I've ever weighed since after kids, since I've been doing ninja. So after kids, I was still playing a bit of football and doing marathon training, and my weight would always sit quite low. People always think I'm tall because I've got long legs, but I'm actually quite short. Except for you, Kadeem, you make me look tall.
I was going to say, no, I have the same problem.
But yeah, I would always sit at quite a low weight. And then since I've been doing ninja, I'm probably about 5 kilos more than what I was after I lost all my baby weight. And and I'm still sitting at a low body fat percent as well. And it's just because I put on so much muscle. I suppose you got to learn to love your muscle if you're doing ninja, don't you? Because if you want to be good, you got to accept that you're going to put on a lot of muscle.
I know, such a bad problem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. I think I'm definitely the heaviest I've ever been, and I'm training the least the amount I've ever have.
Oh, really?
Yeah, as it well, I mean, obviously, when you're training, you're not just training for, a quick half an hour session, you're doing 2 hour, 3 hour sessions. It's like climbing as well. You don't
Oh,
just
they're intense, aren't they? My partner doesn't
very
get it. He's like, he goes to the gym, he's back in about an hour,
mm,
and then I'll go and I'm back in about 3 hours. And but yeah, it's just so time consuming, and the sport that you're doing, isn't it? And it's
mm.
if you're working on a certain skill, like you've got to have that rest in between to to then do it again, and it just before you know it, 3 hours is gone, and it just goes so quickly, doesn't it?
100%. Sorry, so I got sidetracked. So you signed up. You started at Ninja Academy, and was there anything that, as fun as it was there anything that scared you in that first session?
Oh, what was scary? I used to be scared of the 4.5 meter wall.
Fair
Um,
enough.
which I've now gone on to. There's only that wall at Ninja Academy. So this wall is bigger than the one on the show. The one on the show is for people that don't know, obviously you know theme, but for people who don't know, the one on the show is 4.2 meters, and Ninja Academy's got this one that's 4.5 meters, and there's only 4 girls ever that have gotten up that wall, and I was just so determined to get it, and when I was training it, it took me, I said to Dave, I was a bit cheeky, I said, give me 2 weeks and I'll be up there. And I think 2 years later, I finally got up that wall. But I never gave up. Every single session, I would train that wall at the end of the session. And then I was missing it still by about that much. And then I was like, okay, what else do I need to work on? So I kind of stepped away from the wall, and then I started working on skills that maybe I thought I was lacking. So I was doing a lot more like explosive power leg work, and then different drills on the smaller walls, and then ended up coming last nationals, just before nationals last year, ended up being the first and still the only girl to get up that wall in a competition, in an NCL competition. So
Amazing.
I'm really proud of that.
Amazing.
And honestly, yeah, that was probably my most scariest obstacle. And then to go on and just go through that mentally, how much it scared me, but still keep tackling it to then go on to be the first girl to get it in the competition. It's pretty cool. And that just goes to show, when something scares you, if you just slowly chip it away, it just, you can own it, and it can be a strength. What actually is funny as well, it used to scare me, the salmon ladder. And
Oh yeah.
That's my favorite obstacle now. How funny is that? I would have, when I first started trying it, I would have people hold me to spot me because I'd be so scared of letting go and falling backwards, that feeling. Yeah, but now I love the salmon ladder. It's definitely one of my favorite obstacles.
That's funny. It's always the case, isn't it? It's the ones you hate that you end up becoming the favorite.
I know, but you know what, Kadeen? Ninja is such a sport where you can't have that fear in you, because the fear can really hold you back from committing, and a lot of it is so mental. Hey, like you get a lot of people that just if they're not, they might have the strength and the skill set, but if they're mentally scared of it, they won't commit to the skill, and then they'll end up failing it or making a mistake. So I think I've gotten to a really good point in my ninja now where I just get so focused, I don't even think about the failing part of it or the fearful part. Like I just kind of trust my training now.
Yeah.
Actually, there's still one more obstacle that scares me, and it's a stupid obstacle. You know those poles that they've got where you've got to transfer with your feet through the poles at Ninja? Do you remember them when you were there?
Just the vertical, just the straight down. Yeah.
Yeah, the last gap in the before the platform is so big that I have to jump from one pole to the other. And I will never train it because it scares the crap out of me. And then when I'm in a competition, but I get it every time because I'll be that scared. Don't think about it, just commit. And because I want to do well, I'll just do it. And before I have a chance to even think, I don't even pause on that second last one. I just jump and catch it because my instincts will catch it. Oh, I don't know what it is about that, but
I used to have that thing about the wall as well. Like I used to just not train it because I hated it. Not hated it, but I was scared of it. but in competition, when I had to do it, I could do it, no worries. And then I think once I accepted that, okay, well, I could do it, well, then I started being able to train it.
Yeah.
And then, now I'm, trying to attempt mega walls when I can. And,
you
no,
were
no
amazing. You
problem.
were so inspiring to do that mega wall that you did in America that you were so close to getting. That's so good.
I was like 6 inches away.
Oh my God. It's funny, you see people like Ben Paulson, they'll take 3 steps on it. You and I, we've got to take about 10 steps. But you know what? We try, don't we?
We try, and we will get it. We will get it. Just one more step. So, how long was it that you've been training and obviously doing comps at Ninja Academy before you got onto the show?
So I didn't even know about the show when I joined there, and they just filmed. I signed up. It was April, just before season 1 had aired, and I didn't even know about it. And so I've been going there for a few months, and then I saw that the show was coming out, and I just thought, this is awesome. I'm so going to try it for this next year. And I even started competing in the NCL comp, and I remember when I started competing, I still couldn't even do half the obstacles in Ninja Academy. But I was just like, I was so scared to compete on that sport. I was just like, you know what? The only way that I'm going to get better at this is if I just start throwing myself in the deep end. And I would have a crack, and every time I do a comp, I'd slowly start getting better and better. There was one comp that I did. We had the floating doors in it, and I knew it was the only obstacle that I hadn't trained or that I couldn't do yet. And my partner was away, and I couldn't get down to Ninja Academy because I had the kids. And so I actually taught myself the doors at home by hanging off the door at home in the bedroom.
Yeah, wow.
And, I taught myself it. Then we got to the comp, and I smashed them in the comp and ended up getting my first finish. Oh, it was so funny.
That's amazing.
There's some determination for you. Because I was just so determined. I wanted to get my first finish. That's funny, isn't it? When my partner came out, he's like, "Serge, you idiot! You've got to snap the door off the hinges." And I was like, "It's all right. You're a builder. You can put that back on." Oh, pretty funny. But so I when did I try? I think I'd been doing Ninja for about 5 months, and then they had the tryouts. And there was still so much I had to learn. But again, I just thought, you know what? I'm just going to throw myself in the deep end. And each year, I've definitely grown more and more through the sport as I've done it. And
Yeah. So what was that first experience like then? The first time you're on the show. Was it season 1 or season 2?
So season 2 was, so I just missed season 1, and then I got onto season 2. You know, it's funny. Being a rookie, it was my best year that I actually did on the show, and I'd been doing Ninja for 5 months. I made the semi-finals, and I just had in my mind, I was just like, one obstacle at a time, just see what happens. I actually got disqualified in my semi-final run as well, and I reckon that I could have possibly got a lot further. The disqualification was like a technical error where do you remember those mushroom obstacles when you jump from, there was the balance, and they had like the spinning log and then a mushroom thing in the middle?
Yes.
Yeah, and I dived at the mushroom, and then you weren't allowed to use your legs around the side of it, and my inner thigh had pressed on it as I climbed back up, and because I couldn't get that obstacle, and I was ready for the next one. And then, they disqualified me, which was a bit poo, but it's I can't even remember what you've asked me now.
It was just what the experience was like for you. And,
oh man, it was. You know what? I was actually, to be honest, I was shitting myself for Dean. It was. I can't describe the. I've played a lot of sports, and the adrenaline that just having these black all around you, and then these like high beam lights on you, and then everyone's screaming your name. You just like, it's like you feel like you're kind of out of body. And it's like I don't even hardly remember. Just like you just got to kind of try and tap in and switch on and trust your training as best as you can. But each year that feeling has gotten better and better. And I now am at a point when we compete, I feel like I have more fun with it, and I don't get that out of body feeling anymore. And I'm more just, I feel like I'm in the zone completely now. And it's taken a while to get that feeling. It's such, because it's such a crazy sport where the one slip and you're out. You know, you've got to let go of that thought, and you've got to just, as I said, back yourself and trust your training, and then that's when your body can flow more and it becomes more smoother and on course. And you know, but in saying that, anything can still happen to the best athletes. Hey, so
hey, that is true.
it's so cutthroat. You're either really happy with how you went, or you're really depressed with how you went. There's no in between, is there?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've only done the 2 seasons, and yeah, both very different emotions.
Yeah.
Or at least like from an outcome point of view. Like the first season, I feel like, you know, for me, I was so grateful, you know, and also I did better than I did the second season. The second season, same thing, technicality. Yeah. I was furious. But looking back on it, it was my fault. I should have, you know, you can't get too angry about it. But
yeah, you just got to accept it, you know. And then we're so lucky as well that it's now becoming such a developed sport in Australia. Like we've got so many competitions that we get to do. So it's more than just the show now, you know. Like we compete on the show, but then we've got NCL, we've got our backyard comps, we've got you know, the Australian Ninja Games, we've got state versus state. Like there's just so much more now that we can do, and I think that helps so much with not just like your development on a show, but in you know, staying passionate about the sport, you know, and just helping you to grow. And yeah.
No, absolutely. What do you think it would take? What do you think, for example, women need to do to sort of adopt your mindset and, you know, be able to push through things, be able to attempt things even though it might scare them? Because I feel like when I look at the female competitors, there's definitely a gap from the top to, you know, even the middle to the bottom, and I want to see more women closing that gap. So what is it that you think, I guess, women need to do if they want to get into ninja, and how can they grow? Like what do you think is the best way to approach it?
You know what, Kadeem, when I first started, as I said to you, like I couldn't even do half the obstacles, and things like the salmon ladder and the warp wall scared the crap out of me. But you just, when you want to do anything and you want to be good at something, you've got to have that mindset where you've got to, you can't expect it to just happen. Like you've got to really want it, but then you've got to accept that you've got to work your butt off for it. And things that once seemed hard, like the salmon ladder and stuff, like I would be in training every single session. That's what I would do first, and I would just keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it until like I finally hit one rung. And I think it was like months, and I was like, yes, I got up one rung. I was like the most excited person in the world. But then I was like, okay, cool, now I've got to get 2 rungs. And then like I'd get to a point where I'm getting 2, and then like, you know, like everything has a progression, and if you work hard at it, you will keep progressing. And that's what I did. And then I got to the point where like I taught myself, I didn't even know how to kick, and I taught myself how to kick to get up. But now I don't even need to kick, because like I've built up that strength, and I can just come up, you know, up and down with normal strength. And when I get to that in a comp now, I don't think, oh my God, like, am I going to get this? Like I get excited, and I love the salmon ladder in a comp.
Yeah.
And, you know, and that's because I worked hard enough to own that skill, you know, and so it can happen to anyone. It's like the same with the chin up. When my clients say, I want to be able to do a chin up, they're like, oh, do you think I'll be able to get one? I was like, well, if you work for it, yes, like anyone can. Because as I said, there's always a progression, but you've got to be willing to work for it, you know. A lot of people don't know this about me, Kadeem. Here's another story for you.
Here we go.
So I actually played the Lingerie Football League before Ninja. The American. Do you know what the Lingerie Football League is?
I do. I do remember hearing this. I don't know if we discussed it, but I do. I think I saw photos or something. But yeah, carry on. Sounds interesting.
So I was actually pregnant with my first child when I heard the tryouts were coming to Australia.
Yeah.
And I just thought, how cool is this? This sport is coming to Australia. I was like, I just thought it was so cool. I've never played gridiron in my life.
Mm.
And then it was coming up close to the tryouts, and one of my girlfriends were going to try out, and she's like, "Are you going to try it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll just go down." I was heavily pregnant, and I was like, "I'll just chat to the coaches, and then hopefully they'll let me, slot in after I have the baby." And then I ended up going into labour the day of the tryouts, and I was like, "Damn it, I missed the tryouts." And so my girlfriend, she still went down and she tried out, and then she made the squad. So I think they first selected like a squad of 80 or something, and then it got cut down to like the final 20.
Mm.
And then she's like, "Oh, the coaches are really cool. You should come down." So when my son was 2 weeks old, I went down and I met the coaches, and I was like, "Oh, I really want to try out for this sport. Are you still taking people on?" And then I just told him about all my sporting background, and he goes, "Cool, I'd love to test you." And he's like, "When are you ready?" And I was like, "Oh, I haven't actually trained for 9 months. I've just carried a baby." And because I was high risk because of my cancer, they wouldn't let me train very hard in my first pregnancy. So I walked for 9 months. That's all I did.
Wow.
Anyways, I don't recommend this to anyone, but in the mindset that I had, I was like, all right, well, he wanted me to come back and test when I was ready. I was like, I'm not going to rock up and make a fool of myself. So I started, walking upstairs, and then that felt actually okay. I was listening to my body. So then I started running up the stairs, and then I started adding in like a little bit of weight. It got to 5 weeks post pregnancy, and I honestly don't recommend this to anyone, but I'm just a little bit crazy. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm ready. And I went down, and they fitness tested me, but they had all the other girls there. And the coach that was fitness testing, he didn't know that I just had a baby. And I stayed up with, kept up with all the girls there, and we were doing some crazy like military drills and stuff, and the things that we were doing. And inside, I tell you, Kadeem, I was hurting. Outside, I was just so determined. I was just like not letting it show. And I ended up making the squad and then the final 20. And that's just goes to show, like, if you've got that determination, and I've been that crazy, I think, my whole life.
It serves you well. Wow.
I can't even remember why we got into that, but what did you ask me to?
Well, I think we were talking about ninja, and oh no, sorry. I was asking you about for women getting into ninja, what are some of the things that one needs to adopt? But I think that's still important. I think what you said, coming out of pregnancy, post having cancer, it's just like you said, determination. That's really what it comes down to.
It does. It comes down to, and just being willing to work for it, And then like with the gridiron, the LFL, so they trained us for a year before we played the sport. And I always at the start felt like the underdog, because everyone that tried out were all these athletes that had been like in their peak, and then they went to the tryouts. And here's me coming from just having a baby, and I didn't train for that whole 9 months. So because I felt like the underdog, I was training so hard and doing all the little extra stuff that I needed to, because I was like, oh, I don't want to make a fool of myself. I want to be good at this. And I do extra sprint training, and I do, extra this, extra that. I ended up beating a lot of records in our fitness testing. I got like the furthest broad jump, the highest box jump. I got my deadlift up to the heaviest I've ever. I was weighing only about 52 kilos, and I was deadlifting 137.5 kilo deadlifts. Like I was just ended up in about 6 months time getting into the best shape of my life, because I was just so determined to do well at it. And that was coming from 9 months of no training and carrying a baby. So if you are that determined and you are willing to work for it, you can do anything. And you don't have people say, oh, but I don't have time to train that hard, and blah blah blah. Over in Perth here, I have no family here. My partner works away a lot. He's away more than he's here, and so I never had anyone to help me look after the kids. A lot of my training sessions, I'd have to just bring, Jackson was only a baby, he'd have to come to my training sessions. I remember once it was raining and my football coach had, the baby Bjorns had the baby straps on. My football coach wore that and had an umbrella, and he was like shouting at us up on the sideline with an umbrella over him, holding Jackson was sleeping on his chest while I was training. Like, I would just make it work in any way that I could. Yeah, I wouldn't be like, oh, sorry, I can't come today. Yeah, I'll just be like, no, I'm going. How am I going to get there, and how's it going to work? And so my kids have come to a lot of my sports.
That's crazy. It's good. At least I'm glad the coach was happy to help.
So am I, actually. Oh, yeah.
Wow, what a story. That's amazing. And
so anyone can, if girls are thinking about doing this sport, I highly recommend having a go. And yes, it will feel scary at the start, and it will, it feel intimidating. But, if you just start small and just build up and work through your progressions, like, you can get good at this sport, and you can master all the skills, and you just got to be determined, and you just got to not want to give up and be willing to work hard. That's pretty much it. Hey,
that's it. Couldn't have said it any better. And what's your training, what's your plans or goals this year? Obviously with COVID, everything sort of shifted a bit, but what are you hoping, what skills and stuff are you hoping to master?
Oh man, what do I want to master this year? I definitely would love to get the one arm chin. I've been working on more fun stuff lately. I'm trying to build up more my grip strength. That's something I'm always working hard at. But there's little skills that I like to teach myself on the side as well. Like I've just learned how to do the human flag.
Nice, yes.
And I've been, I've always gone to a coach as well. Like I always feel like it's better to learn off someone who knows more than you if you want to learn something. Like, so I've been seeing someone actually recently teaching me handstands.
Oh yeah.
Just fun stuff like that. But in terms of the sport, I've probably the most ever I've been doing is rock climbing, and because you see how well the rock climbers do on the show. And at the moment, I'm probably climbing more than I'm doing ninja, because like I'll do one big ninja session a week, and that, you know how much ninja is taxing on your shoulders and everything. And, and then I'll work on my little skill sets and my balance around that. But then for all my strength training, like it's just been a lot of bouldering, a lot of body weight push training. And I've got a few obstacle course races I'm doing at the end of the year that I'm going to do well in. I've only just started getting into the outdoor obstacle course racing. So I've been adding more running into my training, and we'll see how I go with them.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's probably something I should be doing, but I hate running. But no, that's amazing. What a story. I'm glad I was persistent for 6 months.
Oh, I love you, Kadeem. Thank you. No, it's been really nice. It's been nice to share my story and have a chat, have a catch up.
Yeah, it's been a while. Actually, I don't remember that. When was the last time I saw you was in Perth, I think.
I think it was for nationals.
Yeah. Oh God, what a course that was. That was
awesome. I know. And we don't get nationals this year. Are you did you see that they're doing a different comp?
Yeah, I got to speak with Leo. He's still keen to still go to Perth, and I'm pretty keen to go, because what I'll do is I'll have to speak to Sam Goodall, and I'll try and see if I can tee up to go visit him as well.
Yeah.
To try out the old Mount Midoriyama. I'm pretty keen to go, and I'll see what Leo wants to do. But yeah, obviously with Ninja for me, everything's been postponed. I won't be competing this year. So my place supposedly is secure. I don't know what that means. But effectively it's like, okay, well, next year's sort of a reset. So it's not confirmed of whether or not I'll actually be able to compete on the next season for next year. But I have to assume that I'm going to.
The American show?
Yeah,
Did you
the
do that?
American.
Yeah. Oh, fingers crossed, man. I hope you get to.
Yeah, I mean, oh, I was, yeah, I mean, look, I'd be pretty annoyed if only LA was postponed and they filmed the rest. But I guess obviously because of the whole seat, everything's just crazy over there. So
Oh, it's yeah.
yeah, we'll see what happens. But
This year's
yeah,
been a bit of a write-off, isn't it? We just got to kind of go through the motions and
it's almost like the bushfires was 5 years.
nothing
Like
now.
it's I've completely forgot about that. It's
I know.
just
We were saying that to someone the other day. It's like it was nothing now, and it's just yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
yeah, but glad you're safe. Glad we're all safe. But look,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on, and I think that was a really really awesome story, and I think especially some of the women who listen, I think they'll find that very valuable.
Oh, thanks for having me,
Uh,
Kadeem. And
uh,
yeah, if anyone ever wants to reach out, especially the females, if they want some advice, please feel free to contact me anytime. Yeah. Otherwise, wow, awesome. You're a legend.
thank you so much.